Good. All right. All right. Good morning, everybody. For those who don't know me already, Staff Sergeant Mateo, and today I'm going to talk to you guys a little bit about leadership. Okay. So I have to do a speech for my public speaking class, and I chose the topic of leadership. So more specifically, though, I want to talk to you guys about the style of leadership and the style and how I chose my own style of leadership to follow as an NCO. All right. So right here, I got some visual aid. Okay. I got two hats. Right. So the what this hats represents leadership. Okay. Just like these hats, there's all kinds of different styles of leadership. All right. But just like these hats, one hat becomes more effective given the weather condition outside. If it's cold outside, you will use the beanie, where if it's warm outside or sunny outside, you will use the ball cap, right? So just like that, same goes with leadership. There's no wrong or right or perfect style of leadership per se. It usually comes down to how you implement that leadership and how effective you are at exercising that leadership. All right. So myself, I've been an NCO or a leader according to the military terms since 2010. That's when I got promoted to E5. And then for you guys, and the reason I chose this topic is, from what I've noticed, is a lot of you guys are entering into leadership positions or will be there in a couple of months here before we go home. So I thought it was important to kind of have this conversation and give you a little glimpse of what I've experienced as far as leadership style and how to kind of progress in one direction or another. All right. So for me, it happened very early in my career. I was watching a video that was describing politics, and it pretty much talks about two different types of politics: politics of service versus politics of power. Right. And I kind of took that in and translated it into my service in the military, and I realized that I lean more towards the politics of service, or at least a servant of the soldiers, right? Where some people are more susceptible to the politics of power. They are more concerned with making sure they identify who's in charge or being in charge themselves and focus on that structure itself. For me, my number one priority has always been my soldiers. Right, I get things done through my soldiers by making sure they're well taken care of and they got everything they need to get the job done, which falls under that category of politics of service. All right. So once again, I want to make this clear: there's no one or the other that's better. So I'm not even going to go into details as far as the management or the politics of power when it comes to leadership, but understand that that's just a choice that you have. Now, what I want you to walk away with this short class or a little speech is that you ultimately going to have to make a decision, right? If you are put in a position of leadership, you will have to make a decision as to which path to choose. Now, some of us are very good at going down the middle and having that balance between, power and service per se, but for the vast majority of us, we're ultimately going to have to make a decision which path to follow. The key, though, is to do it as early as possible in your career. All right. So in summary, I know it's a short video, but I just want to kind of introduce you to that concept and want you to start thinking about, what's important to you and which direction do you want to take, and, how do you react to certain leadership in an attempt at allowing that to kind of mold the type of leader that you're gonna become. All right. So the big takeaway, though, is understand that this is not about you and who you are per se. The most important part of this equation is understanding that it's about the soldiers that you're going to be taking care of, or the people that you're going to be taking care of, right? They're the most important, right? So one day, somebody's life more than likely is probably going to depend on it, and hopefully you have the right style of leadership to take care of that person or that situation, all right? So pending any questions, that's all I got. Thank you for your time.